The audience at the Kelly Clarkson show had no idea they were about to witness one of the most jaw-dropping daytime TV moments in years. Kelly had invited her longtime friend and country music legend, Reba McEntire, expecting an easy conversation about touring, music, and their shared admiration for one another. What began as light-hearted banter quickly unraveled into a tense, unforgettable exchange that left Kelly shaken and Reba storming off set. The tension started subtly when Kelly brought up their complicated family connection, referencing her marriage to Reba's former stepson, Brandon Blackstock. Kelly framed it as a meaningful bond despite the past, but Reba's expression hardened. "That's in the past, Kelly," she said sharply. "Some things ought to stay private." The audience shifted uneasily. Kelly, caught off guard, tried to laugh it off, but Reba's tone set the stage for what would spiral next. Kelly pressed on, suggesting those painful family entanglements had made them both stronger women. Reba bristled. "Strength doesn't always come from having your personal life dissected for ratings," she snapped. "You might find growth in talking about it, Kelly. But not everybody wants their wounds opened on TV." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Kelly attempted to soften the moment, but Reba's crossed arms and tightened body language signaled her patience was wearing thin. The breaking point came when Kelly reflected on her divorce, saying it had freed her to focus on her career and family in ways she couldn't before. Meant as a personal reflection, Reba took it as a dig at her stepson. "That's not fair, Kelly," she shot back, her voice firm. "You're talking about my family. Brandon may not be your husband anymore, but he's still a father, still my kin, and I won't sit here and listen to him be torn apart." The studio fell silent. Kelly's eyes widened, realizing she had stepped into a minefield. Trying to salvage the segment, she shifted to Reba's new projects, but Reba leaned forward, clearly irritated. "Don't pivot, Kelly. You brought it up. You've got to own it." Visibly uncomfortable, Kelly muttered she hadn't meant disrespect. Reba cut her off. "Intent doesn't erase impact." The tension was unbearable. The chemistry that once defined their bond collapsed in real time. Kelly tried again to steer the conversation toward Reba's career longevity, complimenting her resilience. But Reba shook her head. "You're not listening. This isn't about career fluff. This is about respect. And today, I don't feel respected." With that, she pulled off her mic, stood up, and headed for the exit. Gasps and whispers filled the studio as cameras scrambled to cut away. Kelly's expression turned from shock to panic. "Reba, please, we can work this out," she called after her. But Reba raised a hand in dismissal and vanished behind the curtain as producers rushed to commercial. When the show returned, Kelly sat alone, visibly rattled. Her voice cracked as she told the audience, "Sometimes conversations don't go the way you plan, especially with someone you love and respect. I hope Reba knows that was never my intention." The sincerity was clear, but so was the fracture. By the time the episode aired, clips flooded Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Fans replayed the moment of Reba standing up and walking off, looping it with captions like "Queen energy and respect is everything." Others defended Kelly, insisting she hadn't insulted Brandon, but was simply speaking her truth. The internet divided into two camps, Team Reba and Team Kelly. Celebrities weighed in too. Casey Musgraves tweeted, "Reba's always been about class. She doesn't play when it comes to family." John Legend, Kelly's The Voice co-star, offered support. "Kelly's one of the most authentic people I know. She speaks from the heart always." The contrast only fueled speculation that the industry itself was quietly picking sides. Dolly Parton, ever the peacemaker, gave the most balanced response. "Kelly and Reba are two strong women I love dearly. Strong women sometimes clash. I just hope they hug it out. The world needs both of their voices." Her words spread quickly, with fans begging Dolly to step in and mediate. Others weren't so diplomatic, Blake Shelton reportedly joked during a voice taping, "Reba schooled Kelly, Lord, I'm staying out of that mess." Entertainment outlets replayed the footage endlessly, analyzing Reba's tone, Kelly's body language, and even the audience's stunned silence. NBC issued a cautious statement. "Live conversations can sometimes become emotional. We value both Kelly and Reba and respect their perspectives." But it did little to calm the frenzy. Behind the scenes, sponsors expressed concern. While the blow-up spiked ratings, advertisers didn't want Kelly's show associated with uncontrolled drama. Producers debated whether to issue an on-air apology, invite Reba back for a reconciliation, or let the dust settle naturally. Meanwhile, fans began combing through old clips of Kelly and Reba together, performances, interviews, award shows, wondering how such a warm friendship had unraveled so quickly. Some dug up moments where Reba had carefully avoided talking about Kelly's divorce, speculating she had long been frustrated by being tied to the drama. Reba stayed silent, even canceling a scheduled talk show appearance, fueling rumors she wasn't ready to face the press. Kelly, however, posted a vague Instagram story, a black screen with the words, "Sometimes life teaches you lessons on air," followed by a broken heart emoji. Fans debated whether it was an apology, a jab, or a cry for reconciliation. Insiders painted two sides of the story. One source close to Reba told Us Weekly, "Reba feels blindsided. She's protective of her family, and to her that moment felt like betrayal." Another source close to Kelly countered, "Kelly never intended to hurt Reba. She was sharing her journey, but the emotions ran hotter than anyone expected." Fans speculated endlessly about whether the two would patch things up. TikTok filled with emotional montages of their duets over captions like "friendship broken" and "say it ain't so." Others cynically suggested the feud might secretly benefit both stars by keeping them trending. Still, the rawness felt too real for orchestrated drama. Two women with a decade of history, caught in the crosshairs of live TV, their pain magnified for the world to dissect. For NBC, it was both a crisis and a ratings bonanza. For fans, it was a cultural flashpoint, a reckoning about family, loyalty, and the cost of living in the spotlight. The friendship between Kelly Clarkson and Reba McEntire may or may not recover, but one thing is undeniable. Reba's walk-off cemented itself as one of the most explosive moments in daytime television history. Whether they reconcile or not, audiences will never forget the day private wounds spilled onto live TV, shattering a bond millions thought unbreakable.